Hi, good morning, and welcome to this channel. It's Momo. I'm Momo Ezekiel, and welcome again to this channel. So today another episode. How was your week? How was everything? How do you think life is? On the other side, if you're watching this video, how do you think life is on your side? And what are you going through that will what are you going through that you feel that you're down? But I want to encourage you this day that everything will be okay. So it's another day, let's do it. So it's a beautiful day. I'm on this side of this road. So there's a place called Duka Moja Center. Duka Moja Center, and there's a big transformer there on Duka Moja Center. That's where we start shooting from. And how is your day? How is everything? So it's another day to share and learn and reflect. This is just reflections. All this I'm doing is just reflection of how my past years have been, and how maybe I'm willing, before I go to the next episode of changing my life, you'll be there with me and we see some things that were back then. Now that you're here, we see what happened back then and what we are going to tackle them in the future, because we have built something. We have built a lot of we have come from this stone. Now we want to have soft life. Oh God, no, there's nothing like soft life. Anyway, there's soft life, but I don't know what to say. If you have soft life, lucky for you. As we continue grinding and hustling, we see if we can get where we are. So let's start by saying, look at that lorry that's coming. Look, check it out. This is a hill, this downhill. It's coming downhill. There's a big lorry coming in, so that was good. Hey, that's gone. So let's start. So if you've watched my previous video, I've been sharing a journey that I've had when I was staying in Kawangware, and let's start by where it all started. I said in the previous videos that I was not born in Nairobi. I was born in Machakos County, just on the outskirts of Nairobi, but all my life I was raised in Nairobi. And being raised in Nairobi, there's some privileges you get, but there's some things you don't experience. There's some things you don't experience. And one of them is the environment. The environment, they say your environment will dictate where you will be in life. I don't know about that, but it's really your geographical location contributes a lot to who you will be in future. I don't know about that, but also those are just people saying, but it doesn't really matter. Can I say that? So I was brought up in Nairobi, Kawangware area, and what we didn't experience is a ushago life, rural life. We never experienced that. We lacked that. So I never farmed. So a lot of people may ask, hey, why? You don't know. You know, when you're in Nairobi, for one thing, people people brag about farming. I say it's bragging, or if they want to show you how difficult or how hard they have become, it's like, hey, haujaishika jembe. Na hujaishi kitu. Anyway, but all these are just things. So we meet that part. Most people in Nairobi, especially in the slum areas, we miss that part of us, going maybe to see your grandmother, or being brought up in a rural setting where you wake up, go to the farm, dig, or do farming activities all day long and go back home. We never experienced that. Our experiences in Nairobi was wake up, go and play with your neighbor. Go and play with your neighbor. Yes, there's nothing. Ukishaosha vyombo, what next? The biggest task was just to wash dishes and wash the house. That was the biggest task that was ahead of you. After eating, just washing the dishes and everything was a big task, and we used to fight for that, to avoid that. Being raised in a family of seven siblings, I'm the firstborn. You needed to show example to the rest of your siblings, and it could bring conflict. So that's one thing that we grew up that we missed. And being raised in a single room again, hey, we used to share beddings. You see, we used to share 2 people, 3 people in a bed, because we had a double decker. So double decker here, double decker there. So you share yours with your brothers, and the other one and your sisters shares with their sisters. And that used to be just like that. We need to share, as I've talked to the other video, we need to share those spaces, sleeping spaces, sitting spaces, because it's a single room, living in the ghetto. You don't have a choice. And the rent was 2,000 bob, 3,000 bob that time. I don't remember, but it was around that time. I think it was around 1,000 or 1,500, but it could 1,000 shillings. That is around how many? $10. Hey, the rent was about $10. And sometimes it could miss. So let me tie this here. Tie this here first. There's something that is disturbing me. Let me tie this here so that we can continue with the shooting. So yeah, that's covered now, ready. So that is something that we missed, and not missing, actually, something that we suffered for. Not like the Ushago, there's a lot of farm, and you can decide today to build your own mud house. If you are tired with this space, you can decide and build your own mud house. If you're grown up, you can move out. If you are around 10, 15, 14, 15, you can decide, now I'm not sleeping in my parents' house, I'm going to build my house. You go to the kichaka. It's a small forest, not forest, it's a thicket, and you gather those trees, and because you're tired in sleeping in your mother's house, so you go and build your own matope. Use natural resources, that is mud, water, and just grass, and do a thatched house. The roof is just grass, and you live there happily. But in Nairobi, in a slum area, living under your parents, you have to live in the same house as your parents, your father and mother, and share the same room every day, cook, eat in the same room, because also they cannot trust you with your neighbor. You cannot go to your neighbor's place. And taking another small house will mean you have to pay for 2 rooms, which will be expensive, because although your father maybe could not manage the two rooms, maybe, so you have to share the one which your father has provided. And that's one thing we learned. So share those rooms. And that's another one, other advantage that we did, a disadvantage that we didn't have. So we can never build. You can never build. How can you build in someone's land? You've already rented this small room, and you cannot add anything. Not even a toilet you cannot add. So it meant living in the, no matter how bad it is, no matter how you feel, those feelings, when you reach the door, you throw those feelings outside and you sit there and share your room with your sisters and brothers. And that is one thing. So farming was one thing. We didn't experience farming like this. No, those are just maize. You see, there's a lot of room. There's a lot of people planting this side. And so I really felt I was missing on something. I really felt I was missing on that village life. Yes, village life, that's the best word. I missed on village life, yes, my entire. So living in town now also meant I missed on village life. I missed how hard it can make you be. It can make you become very hard. Yes, and I missed that also. And I really felt bad about that also, because we could go, like, maybe I've gone to visit my church maybe 5 times in my entire life. 5 times. So imagine, I've never shared maybe stories. I don't know. Even, let me tell you this for sure, I don't know my grandfather's first name. I don't know. All I know is the surname that my father uses. That's the only name I know. But the other names, I don't know. I've seen my grandfather when he was alive only once. And then he died. And that's how terrible life is. So I don't know anything. I don't know any other stories. And now we are grown up, and we don't know where to start with our children, because we don't have, being brought up in Nairobi, we don't have that. You don't have that history. You don't have good relationship with your uncles, you know. Because most of them stayed in up country, but most of you stayed, and you guys stayed in Nairobi, so it was very hard for them to visit you. So, and if you guys wanted to visit them, it was maybe once a year, or maybe once every 5 years. So you cannot build a good relationship with that. And so life moved on. My life moved on, and now we are here, and we missed that. You see, you can hear also the birds, the calmness of nature. We missed that a lot. The calmness of nature can make you think. Maybe you are from the farm. When you're coming home, you hear the birds, you hear everything. You're staying there with your cows, which is therapy, my friend. Just staying with cows and feeding those cows, it was therapy. There are some people who are paying a lot of money to go visit some farms here in Nairobi. Go just visit a farm and feel the farm experience. Some people are paying a lot of money. But us, most of people take it for granted. It's not for granted, bro. It's not for granted. Staying with those is therapy. It's therapy in itself. But we missed it. As we missed it, the only thing we could hear that could maybe do therapy for us is our neighbors' music, maybe bongo music, that they could play every single day when they come from work. That's the only thing that could maybe give us therapy, and maybe playing there with other kids and learning other things. But now that's like village life. No, we never experienced that, and that's one thing I really wanted to experience, really. And I felt so bad, and I can't blame anybody for that. I cannot blame anybody for it's just life. Sometimes life just like behaves like that. So, and yeah, what can I say? What can I do? So, and that's what happened. So I'm trying to get an angle that you can see me well, and that's why I'm struggling. So that's what happens with life, and we really miss that. Like you see, if I can show you, there are some hills on the side where you can go on hike and do some activity and relax if you feel your week has been bad or something is not good. But we never got that. Nairobi was just a hard place, and a hard place meant every day you work, you look for a place to work and do other things, and also your mind shrinks to that level that you don't do a lot of things. You are used to small houses, yes, small houses, and your rent just revolve around 1,500 or 2,000 bob, and you can't think outside the box. And that's really affected us in our thinking. It's not like a good environment like this, but also it really helped us grow. It didn't really help us grow, it really put us down, and I wish they could be done better. And right now I'm really enjoying this village life when I'm an adult, but also renting. And I feel bad. I need to buy land and build for my kid, so that they don't experience the ghetto life. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's those life that you get addicted to, and you settle and become. Look at that stone. Look at that formation. Now you see, like those kids there. Those kids there are going to church together. A village life, you carry each other and you move together. But most of ghetto life, everybody on himself. Most of the people never used to go to church, so you find church is something I'll talk about maybe later, but that's how we found our lives in the ghetto, and living there was just one of the worst things in life. There's no bad singing, no, just your neighbor making noise. At night, a lot of noise. In the morning, they open up their woofer and you feel the music. So there's no resting in ghetto. How do you rest when there's a lot of noise? There's nothing you can rest about. So you wake up, you go hustle. In the evening, if you're going to school, just go to school, come back, do your homework, and tomorrow another week. And life could also be very, very bad, because sometimes you'll sleep even hungry. But I never slept hungry, because my dad and my mom worked hard so that we don't sleep hungry, and that was very beautiful. That was good of them. But now living in that setup really limits us in a lot of things. And sometimes when you live in the ghetto for very long, you feel comfortable and you don't want to leave, because life is simple and things are just available. And when you get small money, you think you have a lot of money, but you don't have money, bro. So it really limited us with a lot of things. So, and that's the life I am escaping right now. Like you see now, I'm experiencing that freshness that you can walk. Like you see that road, it's empty. No, for the next maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, there's no one. You see, maybe a motorbike, 1 or 2, and there's no one who's asking you anything. But if you in the ghetto, it's just, there's no privacy. I can say again, there's no privacy. Your neighbors knows what you're going to do in the next 2 weeks. Even he knows your plans. And if you just don't, if you disappear for 2 days, they will know you're not around. And that's why things never, it was just a place I never wanted to grow up. I wanted to grow up. I didn't want to grow up there, but I had no choice. I had no choice. It was my mother's choice, but my choice, I think I have to make a very great sacrifice. Sacrifice means I have to get land and start tilling and raising animals, because that's how we connect with nature. And nature, you can never go wrong with nature. Never go wrong with nature. Even if how hard it is, you can never go wrong with nature. And that's how I survived in ghetto. It was becoming the firstborn, it was really hard. And we mingled with other kids from different tribes and every other thing, which was a good thing. And we had a good relationship with people outside our community. But also, they taught us other bad things. They taught you other not good things. And you were raised in that just environment, mixed up, and don't know what to do. And just life is just like that. Life is just like that. And but would I want to stay in that life now that I'm grown up? No, hell no. I don't want to stay in that life, because it limits me to do a lot of things. And to get into that cycle and to get out of that cycle, you need to work very hard, and you need to be deliberate about leaving that place, because if you get addicted too much, you can never leave, and you will never leave, and you will always feel comfortable. And until, like my parents, they're still there. My mother is still there, lives there, and she never wants to get out of there. And even if you ask her, I know she's been tied to that cycle of waking up, going, no, not doing this and this. And when you're tied to that cycle, it's very hard to break that chain. And you feel other people are special than you, and they deserve better. No, that God designed you to live there. No, God did not design you to live there. You designed yourself to live there. So if you're in the ghetto, that's my encouragement. Just try as much as possible. Work hard. I'm not saying I've worked hard. Me, I'm just living a simple life. And I've just rented a small house, but in a very good place, a simple way, where at least I can think when things are not going right. I can just think outside, and life can go on. And and maybe meditate a little bit, because meditation in that room, as my previous videos I've said, it was very hard even thinking, because sharing a room with your father, with your siblings, 7 of them, one can come disturb you. You know how siblings, that how you do each other, it's just weird. It's a weird thing. So you play too much when we're not feeling like playing. They don't care. No, and yeah, that's what our father and our mother gave us. But I wish we can do better and live a better life for after that. And that's what we are building right now, because if we don't build right now, our children will go through the same. And they will suffer the same fate of just listening to music and just listening to their neighbors, and don't have that time maybe for themselves. That's the environment, and they will end up maybe not becoming maybe successful. Maybe it's very hard. I'm telling you, it's very hard. But anyway, you need to make hard choices in life sometimes. If you want to change the direction, you need to make hard choices in life. And that's one of the choices I'm making right now. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this episode maybe as a reminder that every day that I need to make hard choices to live better. And you're taking me with you. I'm taking you with me. Whatever it comes first. I'm taking you with me, or you're taking me, I'm taking you with me, you're taking me with you, whatever comes first. But we need to change our lives, we need to change our ghetto. So this place is very nice. You can see people are going as a community to church and everything, and life has to move on. I'm a seal. And so yeah. And some choices has consequences, a lot of consequences, especially I don't know, but I will give you a lot of stories on what happened. Maybe the schools I went to, how you're doing your homework, and a lot of things that have happened over the years, and how life has changed, and yeah, and what I'm doing on those projects, because I really want to do a lot projects that build me in that part that I missed during childhood. Yeah, you see now I used to raise some bush back in the, let me tell you this, a short story, because my battery is dying. I used to rear some rabbits when I was living in the Kawangware, and they became so many, but you know, there's no space, so you've rented only a small space of yourself, the house only. So I had to build outside my house a small space, because of the room is around 10 by 10, so you build a small space outside there. But all my rabbits were eaten by cats, and I felt very bad, because I raised them so that I could raise them, and that's just how life was. I raised them, they were eaten by, I think, some cat. Yes, a cat, maybe dog, I don't know, but I found maybe 5 of them dead. 5 dead, and it was a big loss, a very, very big loss for me, very big loss for me. And how can I say, so here I think I have space where I can do that, and we shall live the journey together, and when I buy those materials, we shall build together a very good place where we can raise rabbits and connect with nature and animals. I don't know what you think about that. That's just that. And if you love this episode, thank you so much, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button as I take you through the journey, my journey through the ghetto life. The ghetto life, yes, the ghetto life chronicles continues shortly. So thank you so much for subscribing to this, watching this video, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and hit the notification bell, so that anytime I upload a new video, you can get notified. See you on the next episode. And also tell me if you've lived in the ghetto, how is your experience? So bye.